Well, big-time Rush star singer James Maslow was at the White House earlier today, taking meetings on fighting anti-Semitism on college campuses. One America's Daniel Baldwin has more.
We're blessed to have a few minutes here with James Maslow, big-time Rush superstar. You're actually in the middle of a world tour, James, and you took a few minutes out of your time to come here. You're at the White House today. We just met each other. What are you doing here at the White House in the middle of a world tour?
Well, I got a couple of months off before we go to Europe next, and well, yesterday was October 7th. So I decided to come to D.C. to speak to some of our capital's leaders. I'm at the White House today speaking to some faith-based leaders, and more importantly, I got to speak to students at GW. I'm actually going around to college campuses, whether it's speaking or playing music, but with every stop, intentionally taking time to speak to students, especially Jewish students, and understand what their experience has been and continues to be. And I was extremely saddened and concerned. Spent several hours with students at GW down here who have shown me what their lives have been like. In fact, right after a beautiful vigil, I said some words and many students came prepared with beautiful words of unity and encouragement. We walked around the corner and there was a massive protest, a massive pro-Palestinian protest that didn't seem that it was intended to create peace. It was screaming and yelling. It was screaming for an intifada on American soil right outside the dorm rooms of these college students who were trying to go to sleep so that they can, get good jobs, get a great education. And it's just only blocks away from the White House. So I think that people should be concerned about that. People should be upset about that. And I'm here to talk to leaders and see what they're doing about it.
When you spoke to students at GW, James, what did they tell you about their own experience, their lived experience, what they're experiencing every day in regards to this issue?
So I was speaking to a predominantly Jewish group of students, but there were a lot of supporters there as well who are non-Jewish. But the Jewish students all gave me their own version of being afraid, being scared to wear a chai, being scared to wear a Star of David, being scared to speak Hebrew, which is absolutely unacceptable. They have been disrupted with their learning. There have been times where they didn't feel safe going to class and so they didn't. And even on our walk around the corner after the beautiful vigil, we got stopped with hundreds of protesters and these students didn't feel safe walking through. And I didn't think it was safe for them to walk through, so we decided to take another route. And that might be easy for me to do the one time that I visit, sure, take another route. But these college students live there. Many of them actually lived in the dorm and couldn't go back to their rooms because of this protest. I just think it's unacceptable. And also, to me, it is such a vivid and glaring example of the one side pushing this hate and this rhetoric that as a Jew and as somebody who spent a lot of time in Israel, I know to be untrue, at least a lot of it. And then this other side coming together in peace, having a discussion, propping each other up, and by the way, speaking about the innocent Palestinian lives that have been lost in this war that has gone on for too long. So these things can be true at the same time. Israel has the right to exist. This anti-Semitism in America needs to be combated and stopped. And also, there are a lot of innocent Palestinians suffering because of this. And I think it's very tough for people to have that conversation because everybody is told you are on one side or the other. And that's BS. That's not okay.
Sure. And James, you're here at the White House. You've been meeting with lawmakers. What is your message to the lawmakers that you've met with? What's your message to the administration? Are you happy with how things have been going? What is your message so far after speaking to these GW students?
Well, I'm here to talk about anti-Semitism specifically, and I'm here to remember October 7th, the massacre that happened in Israel. And generally speaking, I think that there have been a lot of people in government that recognize it to be wrong, recognize Hamas to be a terrorist organization, as the United States does. And it seems like a lot of them are doing what they can. But I will say something that was encouraging to me and was surprising to me is sitting down with several different senators yesterday. Some of them said, I encouraged them because they're so tired. It's been 2 years of a minority of our government, and certainly a minority Jewish part of our government, doing their best to stand up for what's right. They do have support, but it's not bipartisan. Unfortunately, it's become a very partisan, very divided, very politicized issue, which is, again, BS. Anti-Semitism, hate shouldn't be that. But I digress. What encouraged me is that they were encouraged because I'm standing up. And I shared that with the students and said the same thing and told them that I am encouraged that you guys are being proud enough and brave enough to come here and stand up for your religion, for your beliefs, and for what you believe is right. So it was a mixed bag of responses. Overall, I'd like to say that I'm optimistic.
James, I'll leave you with this. I asked you this off camera, but I want to ask you again. You're a global superstar. You're one of the biggest singers in the entire world. Big Time Rush is huge. Why are you putting yourself out this way? Why do you feel the need to speak up on an issue that's obviously very prevalent and very important in today's world?
Well, I'm far from the first musician or actor to use their platform for what they believe in. from U2 to Kendrick Lamar to Bob Dylan. So many musicians and actors have done this before. But most importantly, I guess my message to anyone asking this question is, as scary as it is to stand up for what I believe is right, I also believe that it is much, much scarier right now to be quiet.
Well said. James Maslow, appreciate your time here. Thank you so much.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.